Hello, hello. This is Chucky from Collecting for Fun, and today we got a kind of different video. So I was recently at Toronto Sports Card Expo, and so I wanted to share with you some of the cool autographs and experiences I got while I was there. So these are just some of the autographs that I was able to get, and you can see that. I was able to meet some of the stars there, so we'll go over all the nice trinkets I was able to pick up there. So let's start. Let's start over here in the corner. As a longtime Blue Jay fan, being in Toronto, meeting George Bell was kind of a treat. Quiet man, but very nice man. And you can see that's what George looks like now. And that was George in his prime, kind of mellowed out now. And but when he was in his prime, man, that guy was quite a hitter. And he had quite the temper too, if I recall. And he played for the Jays from like the kind of in the mid '80s to the early '90s. Never quite won the World Series with the Jays, unfortunately. They came close. I think 85, 86 season or something like that, or in and around there. They came really, really close, but to getting to the World Series, but kind of fell apart. But yeah, George has always been one of my favorites as a longtime Blue Jay fan, so it was very nice to meet him there. The one I really want to meet when I went to the Sports Expo was this fella here, the controversial Dennis Rodman, and you can see how he did a very. Oh, I should look over George's autograph. Sorry, very simple. I mean, if you didn't tell me his name, I wouldn't be able to make that out. I'll be honest. You can see that George is not really showable. The bell you can kind of make out, but only if you knew what it was. But I like the blue color. Um, so that's a nice memory for me to have it signed in person by George Bell. And again, that's what George Bell looks like now. And yeah, so here is Dennis Rodman in his shades being cool. He's got the Dennis Rodman shirt on, giving the peace sign. So chilling out as always. And Dennis Rodman was pretty quiet and subdued that day. I'm not sure if he took anything. He might have. I'm not sure. But he was pretty chill. And there's Dennis, this is a great picture. I'm glad he got him to sign this in his Bulls uniform. And, he won 3 championships with the Bulls and Michael Jordan there. So I'm very happy with that and with this signature. And you can see, again, he's got quite an interesting signature. Um, I mean, that looks like a D up there, and I think that's the Dennis up the top there. And then I guess it's the R, and then, or is that the R? And that's men. Anyways, quite an interesting signature. I mean, I can't complain because my signature looks like crap, but I mean, yeah, you know, meeting Dennis Rodman was the main thing, and getting his autograph in person. So that's, to me, that's what it was all about. And so I'm happy I got to meet Dennis Rodman, the Worm, one of the great Hall of Famers of the NBA, one of the most controversial players ever to play the game, just because of his antics outside. I remember him even wrestling with Hulk Hogan, with the NWO back in the day, even just before he was in the playoffs too, I believe. And I think that got him in some heat there, some trouble there. So, but yeah, Dennis Rodman, yeah, you gotta love him. All right. I also got to meet Warren Moon, and I don't have my picture with him is unfortunately on the camera I'm shooting with, so I can't really show you that. But Warren Moon was quite a gentleman, very nice guy. And if you look at one of my earlier videos, I posted a interview that sit-down interview he was doing, or Q&A that he was doing with the person at the Sports Card Expo. So I'll put that in the link below so you can see that interview if you wish. But that's Warren Moon, one of the all-time great football players. The first African-American quarterback to be in the Hall of Fame. First football player to ever be inducted in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, as well as the American Football Hall of Fame. So quite a lot of accomplishments. And they did a record 5 championships in a row with the Edmonton Eskimos, and it's very rare that you see a professional team win 5 repeat championships, and he was the spearhead. Obviously, he didn't do it alone, but he was part of that main cog that was able to lead those championship teams in the CFL. Unfortunately, not as much success in the American Football League. I mean, never won a championship there, but I mean, his stats speak for themselves. He is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and probably one of the greatest quarterbacks to never win a championship. I'll get back to RVD. Actually, let's do RVD now. RVD, you can see, one of a kind. I also got to meet RVD at the Sports Card Show, but again, his picture is also on my camera. But there you go. There's RVD. And actually, I posed with him doing this pose with the thumbs kind of pointing at himself. And you can see he's got his 2 championships there. You can see RVD's got a pretty easy autograph. So you got the R and the, I guess that's a little bit of a V and then a D. And then it says one of a kind. Back to Warren Moon. You can see he put Warren Moon, Hall of Fame. I think that says 2006-06 there, so that's awesome there. And Warren Moon, you can make that out. You can see that says there's a W there at the top, and there's kind of Warren's kind of squished in there, and then there's the Moon MO there. So you can kind of make out his autograph better. So I like his autograph. So these 4 gentlemen I got to meet, and then also I got to meet this gentleman here, Teemu Selanne, won the Finish Flash. You can see he's got his Anaheim jersey on there, and you can see he signed it very well. Teemu Selanne, Hall of Fame 2017, and I guess that thing's scoring champion 2007. I think that's what SC stands for. And yeah, very nice guy. You can see the smile on his face. That's what he looks like now. Quite a nice gentleman. I really enjoyed meeting him. I think all the people I met at the show were really nice, and Teemu was really, really nice and accommodating. His line was quite long, and yeah, I really enjoyed meeting him. One of the top players ever to play in the NHL. One of the top, if not the top, one of the top Finnish players, and I think one of only 2 Finnish players in the NFL or NHL Hall of Fame. The only other person I did meet at the show was this gentleman over here, and that is MacInnis, one of the top defensemen ever to play in the NHL. I think currently he must still rank in the top 10, I would imagine. I mean, he had the hardest slap shot of any. When this guy wound up his slap shot, I think everyone was scared to death because he was hitting that puck at like 100 miles per hour, and he was deadly accurate too. So he was a great scorer, great defenseman, great passer, and at the time he was playing, I would easily say he was probably one of the top 5 defensemen that played at the in the league, with only a few that may have that were better than him, but still quite a gentleman. And I really enjoyed meeting him. Again, my selfie with him is on my camera, so I can't really show you what he looks like now, but quite a gentleman. Very happy to have met him. So let's have a look at some of the other people I was able to, or I didn't meet, but I was able to find, because they were at a Sports Card Expo, I was able to find some really cool deals on some autographs. This one here, I liked this. I saw this one, I was like, oh wow, I gotta get that. So we got Steve Yzerman here, one of the top players ever to play the game, and Sergei Federov, again, one of the top centers that ever played the game as well, for the legendary Detroit Red Wings. Several championship rings between them, winning the Stanley Cup several times in that dynasty that Detroit just dominated. And and Steve Yzerman to me is like easily one of the top players ever. He was up there in scoring. There was you had Gretzky, and then you had Lemieux, and then Yzerman was just right underneath them as far as during that period of time, as far as being like a consistent offensive threat. And so yeah, So that's pretty cool. You can see Steve Yzerman's autograph right there. You can kind of make that out. This is, Steve, and then there's Yzerman, and then there's Sergei Federov. I think he just put S down, and then Fedorov, I believe. And that says 91, his jersey number, and there's 19, Yzerman's jersey number there. So that's kind of cool. I kind of forgot to go over. I think I did. There's Al and then MacInnis. So his autograph's pretty easy to see through in Hall of Fame 07. Bret Hull, one of the great offensive right wingers. Several times over 50 goals in his career. I think he's even hit 70. He might have hit 90. I'm not 100% sure. He was pretty elite goal scorer, and I'm told that his autograph is a lot harder to come by because he wants to keep to himself. He doesn't do a lot of autographs, so pretty happy to obtain this one. And then we got the great one, or not the great one, but Mario Lemieux is like the second, probably during the 80s, is like easily up there with Gretzky. Obviously his illness kind of took a couple of years off his career, and in injuries he's had back problems a lot throughout his career. But man, was he awesome! He's easily, I don't know, got with for sure top 5 players, top 3 maybe. And I mean, Lemieux, typically means the best in French, Lemieux. And the magnificent one, Mario, is there. I would love to meet him one day. And there's his autograph there. Really hard to make out. That doesn't even look like it. Maybe that is an M. I'm not sure. And there's Lemieux. But yeah, that is Mario Lemieux. It is authenticated there. But yeah. There's Mario Lemieux, and I'd love to meet him one day. And let's have a look at what else I have. We got some. We do have some awesome wrestlers. I do like wrestling, and so here we got Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson. He was wrestled in WWE as Daniel Bryan. He's now going by his real name, Bryan Danielson, in AEW. You can see at the time he signed this Bryan Danielson there, and that's authenticated as well. He kind of short forms his first name there. Looks like kind of a BR, I think, or is that an N? I'm not sure. And then really short forms his last name. There's a D. You can kind of make out the L and everything else there. But yeah, this is a JSA certified, so that is his signature there. Here's my favorite guy, Bret the Hitman Hart, with the Canadian flag during the classic, anti-American program they were doing there against Stone Cold and the rest of the popular baby faces at the time. Bret the Hitman Hart, one of my favorites. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. So you can see his signature. You can clearly make out Bret, Hitman, and Hart there. So I like his signature, and that's classic. I did actually get to meet Bret Hart many years. I think twice. Yeah, I did meet him twice. Quiet guy, but very friendly. If you talk to him, he'll tell you. One thing about Bret, he doesn't hold back. He'll say whatever's on his mind, and you gotta love his honesty, at least in his point of view. And I love Bret, he was quite an amazing wrestler and did a lot of great things. So in the wrestling industry, and it's really a shame how his career had to come to an abrupt end with the concussions. But still one of my favorites, and I enjoy listening to his stories on YouTube. I think just like most people do. And so that's Bret. This is also one of my favorites, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in the mid 80s in the WWE. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is one of my favorites. This is a classic cover when he was doing that crazy fire breathing gimmick when he came back to the WWE. And you can see there, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Really nice signature. You can really make out the Ricky the Dragon and Steamboat. So he's got really good penmanship. Hall of Fame 2009. And and I did meet Ricky too. Very nice guy. Both Ricky and Bret really nice guys. I'm glad they're both still around, and no, I hope to meet them again one day. But yeah, I was glad that I did have a chance to meet them. And that's the last of the wrestlers. And the last things I picked up from as far as autographs are 3 classic Blue Jays from the World Championships that they had won. There's Robbie Alomar. Now, Robbie's come under fire over the last couple of years. I think that some of that's died off, but you know, the stink is kind of there still. And there you can see Roberto Alomar's pretty nice signature. You know, there's his, I think 12 is his jersey number. In the Hall of Fame 2011, he did get inducted as a Blue Jay, and I think he may be the only Hall of Famer inducted as a Blue Jay. I cannot say that for sure, but I think if he's not the only one, he was certainly the first to be inducted as a Blue Jay. I'm pretty sure about that. So Roberto Alomar, what you ever think of him as a person? I mean, he was a great ball player in the Hall of Fame, and so hey, I got his autograph here. I did meet him. I had to say he does have even a little bit of attitude with the fans. Wasn't my best experience meeting a celebrity or athlete, but you know, it is what it is. Robbie Alomar, still one of the great ones. So you know, I got his autograph at a fairly decent price, so I was happy with that pickup. We got Joe Carter. Still shame in my mind that he's not in the Hall of Fame. I think he did put up good enough numbers to warrant being considered in the Hall of Fame, but I guess the people that were in the ballot at the time that he was being considered were just kind of pushed him down too much, and he just wasn't on the ballot long enough to get in. But I will always remember that home run that won the World Series for the Jays. A Game 6 in I think it was a '93 series off Mitch Williams, and you know that at the very least Joe's got that to remember of his greatness, and I really hope he does make it to the Hall of Fame one day, because you know I think he had a pretty good career, very solid career, put good numbers, and you know he was one of the main reasons the Jays definitely won. I mean, obviously they had a great team all around, but you know, he was the power hitter, and Joe Carter, all around great player. And then Paul Molitor. I picked this up for only $40. Can you believe that? JSA certified Paul Molitor. You can see decent autograph. And Paul I did meet a number of years ago, so I was able to happy to get his autograph here, because this is a lot less than I paid, and to meet him. And very nice gentleman. Salt of the earth guy. You know, he played majority of his career for the Milwaukee Brewers, and then he came over to the Jays to help them win the World Series there in '93. And I was very glad to meet him. He's always been one of my favorites, and he really is a nice guy. I remember him signing my autograph, and he messed up my name, and he felt so bad about it. He left with my autograph to get like something to wipe it off, and so he actually went out of his way. He left for like 5 minutes or so, and to clean that up and to properly put my name down. And so that's the type of guy Paul Molitor is. He really cares about his fans, and so you know, when I saw this at $40, I said I gotta get that, because I love Paul Molitor. This is also JSA certified, so so that's my autograph haul from the Sports Card Expo. I thought it was kind of different and interesting to kind of share some of my new collectibles here. I do collect a lot of autographs, so if you want to see more autographs, I got probably, if it's not 1,000, it's probably close to 1,000 autographs, and I love it to share it with you guys. Just let me know if that's something you want to see. Hit that like and subscribe button. Hit some comments there, and you know who you want to, you know, what autograph is on your wish list, and I'll see if I can pull one out for you guys. But yeah, that's my haul from the Sports Card Expo as far as autographs concerned. I will be shooting a video of some of the sports cards I was able to pick up at the Sports Card Expo as well, and other interesting memorabilia. So look out for that. And yeah, that's Chucky. This is Chucky from Collecting for Fun. I hope you enjoyed this video of these classic and legendary sports stars and wrestlers. Yeah, we will see you soon. You guys take care. Thank you so much for watching.